Alright, welcome back everyone. I had to finish up some stuff yesterday, but we only have a few fights left. This shouldn't take too long. Okay. Instantly, given that we have X-23 up next, I think I'm gonna go Dark Phoenix because we need a reset. Hey y'all, welcome. No, 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 no! Ah! I really, really hate her special one. I mean, we got some healing out of it, but annoying. Still have a few evades I need to deal with. Morning. Um, Venom can heal if we get there. Come on. We're up to 50. Whew, that was close. Oh yeah, I completely forgot to answer that question yesterday, Elijah. I do remember seeing it. Apologies about that. Yeah, 1 second. Okay, so the broad answer is that yes, because of diminishing returns, you can get away with not maxing out precision and cruelty. I think the degree to which that is true is often overstated. I think I often forgo the final point in cruelty specifically, but I leave precision maxed. And the reason for that is that even though the fifth and even the fourth points in precision and cruelty give you less than the previous ones, they still give you a significant amount on characters that don't have a lot of that particular stat, right? If I'm playing a character like Serpent, who has a naturally low crit rate, then that fifth point in precision is still meaningfully increasing my damage. If I'm playing a character like Photon or Deathless Thanos or Bullseye, who has a naturally low crit damage multiplier, then all of those points in cruelty are meaningfully increasing my damage. And so, in my opinion, the key takeaway is to understand that diminishing returns exists, and then to pick the proper trade-off that you're comfortable with to help as many characters in the roster as possible. Because there are some valid reasons to change masteries, but in my opinion, I'm using generally high crit characters or I'm using generally low crit characters today is not one of them. And so my standard for masteries is to try and help as many characters as possible. And for me, that means mathematically I want both precision and cruelty quite high at all times. I'm not following that last bit there, Omega. Oh, yeah. No, I realized as soon as I said it. Oops, don't have a relic. That's okay. Yeah, I quite like having Petrify maxed, personally. That's not one I turn off. Hey, Joey, morning. Cersei might be a good one here. Okay, a relic definitely would have helped. Cool, I'll take that. Net positive with a rank 2. Special 2 frigate. Hey, cream cheese, welcome. Yeah, I think that would be a good relic for her, Joey. I mean, she's solid with the Miss Marvel relic, but it's not quite enough. Yeah, it's pretty close to guaranteed crits. He really played with me there. I guarantee that if I had gone in and hit his block, he just would have intercepted me. That's fine. No, there are things about Venompool that are better, but Venom is the stronger champion in the overall game right now because his relic just makes him stupidly, stupidly fast in Battlegrounds. That's just pretty objective, kind of unfortunately. I mean, I just got it from meta. If you want me to call you something else, all you have to do is tell me. That's just the habit I'm in. Hey, Cyber. Afternoon, John. Nope. Off to a great start. Not really surprised. Jerk. Fair enough. Just die to that Groot. Groot can catch you. The crits get big. Remember when I used to be able to reasonably argue that Venom the Duck was better than Venom? Those days are long gone. Yeah, I think it is fair to say they are. Man, would I love a 7-star Toad here. You know, Kindred is probably pretty phenomenal for this Mr. Knight. Only one damaging debuff and everything else is passives. I've done Gene before and it works. I kind of want to try that. Mysterio doesn't sound fun for this. You jerk. Okay. I don't regret the attempt, but man, if he doesn't play along, that's disgusting. This needs to be the Incursions version of Bane. Like, I understand there's probably an intermediary for Biohazard, but this needs to be the Incursions version of Bane. That's just disgusting. Yeah, Kindred's block damage is not helping us here. Insane. That's okay. These go into overflow. I have no regrets. We tried a thing instead of the thing that we knew would work. I'm not expecting to use many items at all in 9.3. I cannot... Did I really parry that much? I guess I did. Yeah. Poor timing. That was my fault. That was my fault. Who's the best option for Mr. Knight? Getting his AI to play along perfectly. That's the best option. And like I don't normally say that because I think people overstate the degree to which like the AI is a problem and that kind of stuff, but like it's not degen, right? It's just direct damage. If he doesn't play along, it is a giant middle finger. And like while in classic difficulty, you could use Bane as like even your primary damage source for chipping him down during his own specials. That is not true anymore here because your health is so small in relation to his. And that's why Bane is kind of a mistake to use in the first place, because it is such a warping node. That's why I argue against it basically every time it shows up in a playtest. Damn it. Like, once you get it down, it's fine, right? Bane at this health level, nobody cares. It's just when it's freaking 7,000 per second that is just a wee bit of an issue. And that is why Incursion's Bane scales differently, because I hate this thing. Anyway, the big chunks, when he throws the special one and it does what we want it to, pretty cool. Jean worked very, very well in Classic. Yes, I am missing out on Bane damage by not fully healing. It's just that because Bane still ticks me down at the beginning of the fight in, like, 0 seconds flat, I don't personally find it worth healing, because I could just be throwing those potions in the shredder if he doesn't play along. Later on in the fight, probably worth full healing, but at that point the fight is also a low enough threat that I don't mind it just taking longer. If you're good with Gladiator, then he's probably the best, but it's also very easy to just get destroyed in this fight with Gladiator if you're not already good with Gladiator. So massive, massive grain of salt on that recommendation. The fact that we got 2 Cavalier Crystals somewhere in there is very silly. That's from the web store earlier. That's nice. That's the catalyst I was behind on. This is pretty useless. Basically ISO. I'll take the 7-star shards. Same. I generally agree that this is not the best for dopamine, Joey. But, like, I don't think we have the tech to do it the way I would want, right? Because the reason that they've trickled in without you noticing is because they're auto-claimed. And that's a good thing, because if they weren't auto-claimed, you would have to hit claim on every single freaking milestone, and that is like pulling teeth for me. Plus, it technically introduces the possibility that you don't realize you have to claim the rewards, and then all of them expire in your stash over the course of the next month. Terrible. So we don't want it to be normal milestones. We do probably want it to be auto-claimed, but in my head, what I imagine would be better is if the milestones still build up and it's still telling you, like, milestone upgraded, and it gives you the option to claim, but then when you finally do go claim, it gives you everything in one chunk instead of spread out over the multiple milestones. But I don't think we have the tech for bulk claim like that. So I understand why it is the way it is, because that's probably the best possible option. If it functioned more like AQ, then you would get it all at once, but at the end. And not, I don't mean when you finish the quest, because I don't think we have that set up yet either. I mean like when the event ends, so at the end of the month, and that would not be good. Wouldn't that option strain the servers? But that's the thing, is you would build it so it wouldn't strain the servers, because the idea is not for it to be doing a bunch of different calls, but instead for it to just be like putting things in a bucket and then dropping them all at once. And that's why we don't have that tech right now. Season's basically over, Misery. Like, bluntly, we're locked into top 10. We're not really paying a lot of attention. A good chunk of us are going and testing fights. Like, we're not taking it off. It's not fully off season, but I have no idea if we've won any wars recently because I just don't care. Yeah, dopamine losses are real. I get that. We tied for 10th, which does mean we get the extra radiance, yes. Yeah, I honestly didn't mind the difficulty all told. I have made my points on a few things. I think the attack is too high as something that I'm not actively opting into. If I'm opting into it to get a few more 7-star shards or something, sure. Um, hmm. I haven't done that here. That's not a bad idea. But yeah, I wouldn't mind the ability to opt into the current attack tuning for like a few more rewards, but I don't think it should be the default. Classic needs to be able to come down for people who want a more casual approach to EQ. I don't really think the health is too high. I think if the attack comes down, that solves most of the problems. The nodes do need to be updated at minimum. And I don't like, we need a different tuning of Biohazard because right now we don't have any tunings at all in between the Incursions version and this version. and the Mr. Knight boss needed to be using the Incursions version of Bane, because the whole point of the Incursions version of Bane is to scale better into those large health pools. The other one was fine in Classic. I had no issues with it, but too much here. Hey, Alfie, I'm glad you're enjoying him. Ooh, that's a first dupe on Venom the Duck, who I did not have until about a month ago. That's funny. Hey, I see. So I have 13 Titans plus a Nexus ready to go. Probably not going to need all of those. It's a pretty nice setup then. Alright, 2 Mythics don't have an Awakening Gem. We expect nothing, we get nothing. I guess technically those are Mythics, not whatever the other ones are, so a 6-star is lucky. Hey, easy. Oh, I forgot these are only 10k. Hey, 2 6-stars out of 3. Used to pray for days like these. ¿Qué es esto? Oh, yeah. Hmm. I guess we can go open those first two. Sorry, Elijah. If it makes you feel any better, the reason that I have more Titans than I need is because I spent roughly $1,000 across Nico and High Evolutionary. Otherwise, I'd need every bullet I could get. Okay. As you can tell, I spent a little bit at the store today. I don't know off the top of my head, TC. It's one of the people who left before I got there, but I'm not sure which one. Am I planning to open all my Titans? I'm planning to do a 10 pop and see what happens, and then we'll make plans from there. Oh yeah, let's open the... see if we can open the 7-star relic. That would be here. That's probably here. Yep. Gotta love themed ISO crystals. Where did you come from? That must have been from completion. That's nice. I guess it's here? The things that are in the shards division versus not really confuse me sometimes. Oh, that's right. I've got one of those to open too. Okay, this first. Alright, they're all new. We have no idea what they do. In general, I think Prowler's stronger. Okay, energy resist isn't bad. That is kind of painful. Because the only relic I have at that level is already a mutant. Why can I take these up? Is it a gem? Okay, I have a gem. Go away. Alright. So I could take up Storm to rank 4, which their innate's at level 1. I don't have any duped 6-star stat casts. Okay, I'm probably sitting on those for a while. I have no mutant, or I have no 7-star mutant stat casts at all. Yeah, that was a waste. Not really, John, because my Gambit relic is only Sig 60, whereas my Sinister relic is Sig 200. Yeah, the secondary not showing up will get fixed. Worth noting, John, that the Grace may not carry forward past the end of this month, so be careful with that. Like, I hope we carry it forward, but we did say that there's a decent chance we won't, and so I don't want you to get caught with, like, only having 30 left. Yeah, it's from the beginning, it's a test for the run of this saga. And so I think Mr. Knight is the last one included. So if you want to gamble on it applying to October and further, you can. I'm not telling you you have to go spend 9,000 units right now. But there is a chance it doesn't. Hey, People's Champ. Nice. Good luck on those pulls. Yeah. I think it might even be fixed for next build TC, the Nexus Relic thing, but it might be after that. Yeah. The Voodoo thing's fixed in the next build. What was I looking at? Oh, yeah. Okay, these are my current rank 4s. Let's see, what is that? 17? Yeah. I've got 2 in the bank that I need to decide on. So only 2 science. Obviously, both good ones. 3 skill. I don't have Bullseye or Yelena. Those would be pretty obvious ones. 3 mutant. Pretty happy with that. 2 cosmic. 3 tech now. And 4 mystic. It has returned as my favorite class. Hey, Mark. There might be, John. I'm not 100% sure. Because I think even on the stat focus, I'm not sure it's fully taking into account masteries and everything. Like, what we need is... God, this immediately starts hurting my brain. What we need is a way to see the full source breakdown of base stats, right? I need to be able to, like, go here, click on attributes, and then I need to be able to see, okay, critical rating is 355 plus 425 from masteries plus whatever it is 137 from stat focus plus 240 from relic, right? Like you need that full breakdown. Yes, TC, sorry. Yeah, the rank 4 Iron Man, it works for me in Battlegrounds sometimes, but that was also just bluntly a war defense sacrifice, and that's okay. You make some of those. But when I said that that started hurting my brain, the problem is that like when we look at stat focus, it's easy to do this base 15% plus 4.7. But the problem is if I also add masteries in here, then do I list the stat focus as 4.7 first and the masteries second, where it would probably be like 8 or 9%? Or do I do the masteries first so that they read as like 9 or 10%, and then do I list stat focus second so it reads as like 3.5%? And that's before we add in the stat casts. Like diminishing returns having an implied order of operations to this display is painful. It would be very cool, but I think we would have to pick an order and display it in that order every time. And that would probably lead to some complaints because if whatever you're trying to decide on right now is not the last item in the chain, it's going to be harder. Like, that's probably what you would actually want, right? If you're looking at stat focus is displayed last so that you can see the marginal benefit. If you're looking at StatCasts are displayed last so you can see the marginal benefit. But if any of you have done much programming, you immediately understand that that kind of flexibility is a lot more work. Yeah. We'll see. Yeah, I think that's a solid choice, Easy. No, that's okay, Bart. Yes, that means that my next champion is in November. Because that's one of my most common questions, and it's one that I don't really mind answering. Okay. Who are we going to take to rank 4? Angela's pretty tempting. Oh, maybe I should look at the next saga. Because that's in here, right? Hmm. There's an argument for Ultron. There's definitely an argument for Ultron. Bastion is great. My concern with Bastion right now is that he's permabanned, and he will be whitelisted next saga, but uh, I don't know. I do like Bastion. Tech isn't really the class that, excuse me, that I'm hurting for right now, though. The other thing is I tend to view my rank ups in terms of Alliance War, and that means in terms of a battle group, because I'm a good officer, and there's a good chance that we'll have 3 or 4 rank 4 Bastions in the battle group. I'm probably the only rank 4 Ultron if I do that. Leader is a good one. We already have a rank 4 leader. If I rank him, there's a chance he goes on defense. But there's not a great chance that he goes on defense next tactic because, bluntly, my defense is pretty stacked. I like North Star a lot. That's very possible. I also kind of need to decide how sweaty I'm being with Battlegrounds, because the fact that I haven't taken up Yelena yet is probably holding me back. Yeah, my Mystics are pretty stacked at the moment. That's probably the one class I'm not going to do. You know what? Let's take a look at my rank 2s, see who's up and coming. Spider-Woman is obviously cracked, but we have like 5 rank 4s in my BG. So that would be purely selfish, which doesn't rule her out, but... Oh, I have a Saga Gem for her. I was like, why can't I take up negative? That's why. Oh, let's go ahead and rank up Anti-Venom. Gentle is tempting. I like Gentle. Yeah, I don't disagree with you, EK. MODOK could be toxic, but MODOK also needs pretty high sig. And I just put my science gem into Reed, which I have no regrets on, because we're probably going to have a few big MODOKs elsewhere in the BG. Yeah, I like Gentle a lot. And there's an argument specifically for Gentle all the way to rank 4. I mean, I've got the Awakening Gem. And I know I could go Captain Britain, but that's like a different kind of toxic. She doesn't even feel that dangerous on Alliance War with Maker out there. What's going unclaimed? Oh, this? That's fine. The ticking down was starting to bother me. Vi's in a different BG, but yeah, I wouldn't be surprised by that. Yeah, exactly, Benji. You also have many chances to awaken Gentle in a few days. You are completely right. I should probably keep one in the back pocket for that. I should also 100%... Is this... Yeah, this is rank 1s too. Okay, I should also 100% just do this with the Saga Gem. There's no reason not to. You missed me waffling, basically. And then I could take her straight up. I do need another science. I just realized I have those 1 and 2 Saga Gems. Do I not have anyone they can be used on? Okay, no, I do. They're just not in the next tactic. That makes sense. Okay, we should focus here. I like Phoenix. I think it's time I take up Mojo. Mojo and probably Scream. Happy Sunday, Travis. Morning, Chris. Welcome, Swirly. It hasn't. I mean, I guess it has been officially announced because the tags only apply one way or the other. But generally, like, we are breaking the cycle a little bit of like it's these tags, then these, or it's these classes, then these classes, then these classes. But you can kind of figure it out, right? It's mystic, or it's mutant, skill, science, and tech. And so if you have to pick attack, defense pairs out of that, that tells you it's going to be mutant miss or mutant skill for attack defense and tech mutant. Or sorry, no, it's going to be skill science and tech mutant. See, this is why it's kind of confusing because those are all 4 in a row, but that's the only way to get 2 pairs out of it. So, rephrasing, tech and skill offense, mutant and science defense. It depends on how your roster and your skills are and your patience, Ham. I didn't find it that bad, but I don't think that that means that the criticism doesn't have value. I was okay. I did use some revives. There are a few rough ones, and the Bane on the last boss is just silly. Yeah, no. I'm decided on Mojo. I like Mojo a lot. He's going to rank 3 instantly. I do like Falcon. I'm thinking about it. The main reason not to go Falcon right away is just that he's in the defense tactic rather than the offensive one coming up. And so then do I really want to rush it when he hasn't been buffed yet? I don't know. I mean, I do think it's worth doing, Ham. It didn't take me that much time. The rewards are solid. No, Mojo does not need high sig. It's a benefit for sure, because it doubles the strength of his Fury, but that's another way of saying that he has half of the total benefit at Sig 1. That's fair, Ham. No harm in taking a break. If you miss it, you can come back. I may still do this, but no rush right now. Oh, is there an invisible filter? That's kind of funny. Okay. So this is who I have for the next tactic. Okay. These would be my defenders. That's plenty. Makes North Star and Leader a little bit more tempting. Love a rank 4 gentle, so I don't think I'm making both of these calls right now. And I might not make either of them because I don't think I want to get to 5 mutants. So if I feel like I'm leaning a mutant, I won't. And these would be my attackers. Viv and Ant-Man are good. Patriot's the only skill champ I've got right now. Excuse me. Ultron would be useful. Shang-Chi would be useful. I like Shang-Chi a lot. He's pretty gross periodically in Battlegrounds, too. I do also like Blade. Ghost Rider's getting reworked, but won't be right away, so I'm not really in a rush for that. And then I am still looking at Ultron because that does some good stuff, but we've been sending him a bit less lately. Oh, thank you for the reminder, John. Yes, I got all of them. uh, eventually, probably, but like, don't draw too close of a line between it, because we rework things when we can and where we can, and that is separate from where Live Ops wants to source new champions. Would I send Ultron more if one were ranked? Maybe, but like my rank 3 has been fine for anything we've needed him for. And that's probably going to continue to be true for a while. I think so, Omega, yeah. Everyone is subject to rebalance, Farley. I don't know. I could agonize about this for a very long time. If we had another season of this tactic, then maybe Reed, but I don't think he really needs it right now. And he's not defense tactic next time. So I'm unfortunately gonna have to be a little bit pedantic, Benji, and say that the two halves of that question are not necessarily linked. We did test Cole, right? Like we knew how much damage he could do. That's that's the other thing is that we didn't actually buff his damage. That's the thing that I think people keep missing is that the things we changed were for the most part not damage levers. This is kind of what he always was. This is just suddenly him catapulted from a 6-star to the heights of 7-star with access to challenge rating and crit stat focus, plus the fact that like better relics now accelerate his loop is just backing up. We knew he could hit this hard, but that doesn't mean that there's no chance that he gets tuned down. And that is because the point of the rebalance program is not necessarily like, uh-oh, did we just not realize that they could do this? Like, it can catch things like that, but honestly, more likely, if something truly just surprises us that badly, um, we're more likely to just live fix it, because that's closer to a bug, right? We're talking about Cull right now, Joey. I think what people often misunderstand, and I ranted about this a little bit earlier this weekend, but like I think what people often misunderstand is that the rebalance process is a matter of taking a champion that we probably understood pretty well in a vacuum when they released and seeing how their data lines up. Like, yes, we know that he can hit a however large medium. We know what his DPS is. That doesn't matter. What matters is that DPS applying to a larger section of fights than we thought it was going to? Is he overshooting his targets? Is his win rate higher than what it should be? Is he not losing as much health as he should be in certain matchups? Is he surviving things he shouldn't? It like that's the kind of thing we look at, right? Excuse me. And like what Joey's saying, I know you're not arguing with me, Joey. You're just kind of saying, like, that's the kind of stuff we can argue about and speculate about before release. And we do, because that's our job. But the purpose of the rebalance program is to take some of that out of the realm of speculation. Which, whenever anybody is saying, like, but blah, blah, blah shuts them down, but they get past blah, 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 that is functionally speculation. We want to take it out of that and move it into the realm of, well, actually, the data says that Cull is performing this way in this context in the hands of these players, right? That is the part that we watch for. Excuse me. And that is the part that might be fine. We think that there's a better chance than not that it will be fine, or we wouldn't have released him this way, right? Whenever we release someone, we are saying that this is our best guess, and we think their data is going to come back in 3 months and say that we don't have to change them. But it's not a guarantee because we cannot possibly do enough testing and be smart enough in our speculation to account for everything that millions of players are going to uncover in between now and that data pass. So hopefully that makes sense. I don't think those pieces are going away anytime soon, Benji. Okay. I'm tired of banning her, so I'm gonna rank her. Okay, 44%. How does her sig scale? Pretty well. Hey, TC. No, I know it goes to 100, but the question is with what curve? How much do I get for the next 20 SIGs? That's kind of always my question. And I think my answer is well enough. Let me double check something real quick. I mean, I know she's in my prestige now because she's a rank 4 and that's how that works. But I want to remind myself where she is overall. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th in science right now. Behind leader, funnily enough. Yeah, that's good enough. Take care, Omega. Oh, she is definitely not 18th. I mean, I'm looking at a couple characters here that aren't out yet, and so I'm not going to tell y'all what rank I have her on my sheet. But she's a long way below 18. She is not in the top 30. But this is kind of what I'm talking about with prestige, y'all, because, like, if I'm looking at 6 stars, because that tends to be the easier way to do this, she's not top 30, but she is all of 30 points behind number 20. Or 20 points behind number 20. Like, it's the curve up there. I wish I could show y'all the frickin' scatter plot, because I built one to look at this. But it includes characters that don't exist yet, so I can't. But, like, I guess one thing I can say is that we have a column in our prestige tuning master sheet for things like this that gives us, like, what percentage of number 1 is this person's number, right? So high evolutionary, that column says 100% because he is number 1. And then onslaught is 99.7. So he's close, right? And once we get down out of the top 10, we're at like 96%. And it continues dropping until around Valkyrie, right? Who's at 90% of high evolutionary. But then it drops off very, very slowly from there. And that's like, you don't really need to worry about the absolute top champions. You just have to ask yourself, okay, is Jessica Drew in a good spot for prestige? And personally, top 100 is a good spot for prestige. Top 200 is still decent. And then you ask yourself, does putting SIGs in her matter? And the answer is yes. That's why I went and checked her curve. And so then it's worth it. So how much did my prestige jump? About 100 points? Cool. But yeah, that's, in my opinion, how you navigate Prestige 30. Yeah, Hyperion's an outlier. How is Prestige decided? Y'all aren't gonna like the answer because it's close to random. There's a fair bit of designer discretion involved. Um, like the default is put them high but not too high, and then there are specific people that we choose to put a bit higher. And that's probably all I can tell you. That isn't quite correct, TC. It's High Evo, Quicksilver, then Photon, then Punk, then Leader, then Jess. So you have Photon and Punk backwards. But that's close. Yeah, we do need better prestige tools. I've been shouting that from several different mountaintops I keep teleporting between for a while now. Sorry, Jason. Thank you very much for the super chat, and I'm sorry it's taken me this long to respond to it. But as a skill attacker for next saga, thoughts on Black Cat versus Blade versus Patriot? So I like Patriot a lot for specific nodes, but I'll admit he's a little bit more niche there. Um, honestly, I don't know what war maps look like for you, so this is kind of hard for me to answer. Because all three of them we assign pretty narrowly, honestly. Like we could assign all three in any given war, and we probably assign Patriot slightly more than Black Cat, then that more than Blade. But like a season or two ago, Black Cat would have been on top. She's still very flexible for a lot of things. If your war maps are limited enough in their like trap placements that you can reasonably bring Blade and Ghost Rider, then he's probably the top. Like that's not true in tier 1, but further down, if you can run a whole lane with Blade, especially a rank 4 Blade, like there's your serpent counter, right? That's all you need. So I'm sorry to not fully answer it. My light suspicion is that Blade will serve you well because other people may not have him. Patriot does some really important things on the war map, but a lot of the fights he takes are pretty dangerous, honestly. I've had to make a few things happen. And so if that's translating down, then as good as Patriot is, you may not feel like you're finding as much value out of him if it doesn't feel like he's answering those fights well enough for you, if that makes sense. Yeah, anytime we rework a champion, we reserve the right to mess with their prestige rune. Yes. And that's happened for the most part recently. We didn't touch up any of the ones in the Rebirth Crystal. Most of them were decently like healthy, but like it has happened recently. Like Cyclops got upgraded out of the basement, Rhino got upgraded out of the basement, Yondu and Medusa both got boosted. It does happen. She-Hulk is at the bottom, but Juggernaut and Scarlet Witch are very low. Or actually, I think something might have been messed up with the sheet the other day that I was looking at it, because earlier when I looked at it, Scarlet Witch was at the bottom. I don't know. Yeah, basically what Easy said, Levi. Nearly any champion who can't reliably get down the opponent in 40 seconds or less, the community is sleeping on to some extent or another. Yeah, Voodoo probably could have gotten some help, but yeah, not saying more there. Kept Rhino in the basement. That's all right. Okay. What do I need to do here? 1 second. Okay. I think I am going to go ahead and pick up Samurai, but I need to figure out how. Because I have the tier 7 basic to get another rank 4. I don't have the tier 4 alpha. So that's probably the thing to buy. I'm not showing y'all this screen because it's got my email in it and you don't need to see that. um, I'm okay on the class catalyst because I have 3 here in the bank. Maybe I just do this real quick. Mutant is okay. Science is low, but that's because I just invested in it, so I'm not really worried about that. Tech is low. I think I might be taking up Gentle, so let's hedge our bets a little bit there. But we can get some of this in Radiance. Okay, so I'm probably picking up a few tier 4 alpha catalysts. I guess I can look at that stuff here. Yeah. So I'm probably picking up a few of this one. I don't know that I'll be picking up any of the basic catalyst. I'm not grabbing any of the champion acquisition stuff. I'm fine there. I already have a gem. I did burn through the rank up gems, so that is possible. Although I could spend some units on those? I don't know. I'm starting to get hungry, so I'm losing track of what I'm thinking. I should probably pick up 2 of these, just because that's 56. That's kind of hard to sleep on. Do I ever anticipate a champion's prestige being reworked or tuned? Not one by one. If we ever do something there, it'll be like systematic and large, and that means that it's something we'd have to find cap for, so no guarantee. Hey, Shahid. What was I looking at? Oh yeah, Radiance. Okay, so I can pick up one more tier 7 basic. Yeah, like I could spend a lot more money in the store and set myself up for another rank 4, but I don't think I want to do that. Money is still precious. But I think I'm close enough to the guaranteed 7-star that it'd probably be a mistake not to get him. Okay. So I need to spend 80. And I still need to spend 10 on Solvark, but I will probably do that tomorrow when the store resets and I can get the Valiant Weekly again. Because that is significantly more efficient than just buying the last essence I need for 10 bucks on its own. Yeah. Funny thing is, in some ways, the Paragon Weekly Special is almost more what I need right now. It's got the tier 6 class catalyst, the tier 4 alpha. Still comes with the stamps. It's definitely less valuable than Titan shards and tier 7 basic frags, but it's kind of tempting. Good band we need to raise. Uh Actually, God of Raid's not too long. Wouldn't mind another, but that's separate. Okay, what am I actually going to do here? Think this. Wait, I'm miscounting something. Yeah. If I did Shahid, I probably wouldn't be allowed to tell you, bluntly. Solo, why are you being weird? I feel like it's not properly counting things. I really need to go find that line in Family Guy of Peter saying who starts a conversation like that and put it on my soundboard for some of y'all. Hi, Lawrence. Okay. All right. Closing the store tab. Let's go back to chatting. And I'm done. No, I know you were kidding, Shahid. It's okay. I said the one-liner room. Bluntly, Lawrence, I didn't find it that bad, but obviously there's some changes needed. Okay, we're good to go there. Oh, that's the other thing I can do now. Let's grab... Absolutely not. Okay. Still got some tokens there. I need to play Battlegrounds. But we've got the Radiance to take us the rest of the way if we need, but I'm not going to rush right now. When is the reset? 10 days. Okay. It's funny, actually, that I haven't maxed this out yet. You'd think. I mean, my thing is max Sig, and... Oh, I forgot there was another tier 4 alpha there. I mean, that's fine. That's gonna get used. That would be the funniest thing in the world. Okay, what is this? Okay, and I need how many more points? 510? Okay, so I should get there over the next 4 days just by winning fights or ranking up. Cool, that works. Where am I going? That's right. I generally don't, John. But yeah, it's definitely a good idea most of the time. Yeah, see, I'm 98 away from the next Grace. I really hope it carries over, because I would like credit for the one since the last one. But I'm not expecting anything. There's no way I'm buying 93 crystals or whatever for Mr. Knight. I like him a lot, actually, but that'd be insane. Yeah, if it weren't for the sale going on right now, I would have waited too. Because I almost certainly should have, but I got kind of tired of not having him. Wait, which crystals does it count? Just those. Okay, that makes sense. Oh, but if I pick this up, which I still think I should, then that counts. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Thank y'all for sticking around. I know this part of the stream is boring. I'm kind of just doing maintenance, but we're continuing to chat. That's nice. Extra SIGs on newly ranked 3 Mojo. Okay, just win some fights. We'll be fine. Or actually, I can probably just rank somebody. Yeah, I would rather be done with this. Okay. Mordo's not for me, Shahid, but TC will be glad to have a friend. I have nothing against Mordo. Just not for me. If you don't mind sharing, what is your list of champions that you would hold for? I'm kind of curious. So I do get what you mean, Elijah, and to a certain extent, I agree with you, right? Because I don't think that there is inherent virtue in the idea of being free to play. Like, I think there are people who attach a lot of extra baggage to that, where they're like, well, obviously, Kabam is evil. So, and if I give them my money, then I'm supporting evil. And so being free to play while I play this game is actually exactly the same thing as boycotting Amazon. And it's like, okay, you do you. But there are also people out there who insist on staying free to play because they know that if they give us $1, they can't necessarily trust themselves not to give us $500, and maybe they can't afford to part with $500 right now. And so, for people who are holding on to free to play as an absolute for the purposes of not breaking the self control dam, fully respect that. You got to do what you got to do. Like, one of the things they say is that, with science backing it, is that willpower is overrated. The best thing to do is to not put yourself in the situation where you need to exercise the willpower in the first place. And that very much applies with money. Excuse me. I can understand that. That's actually kind of smart, and I applaud your restraint there, holding on to the grace crystals so you can see things, but also keep track. Excuse me. Yeah, I appreciate the heads up, Jason. Obviously, that's what I did, but I appreciate it. Blue Marvel, Vulcan, Quasar, Exodus, Black Tarantula, Morgan, Martyr, and Hobgoblin. Nice. That's a good list. Some decently popular ones there, but also some less popular, and yeah, it is a good list. For expect, Gordana, I'm just going to say you can't. I'm not saying he's never coming, but don't expect him. Because if I tell you you can expect him, you're going to expect him soon. And that's a mistake. I mean, that's the thing, TC. You can still hold yourself, right? Or hold yourself back, because you also don't have to see it as an absolute, right? And that's where I think that like the free to play thing, making it an absolute as though it's some kind of virginity stamp, that's the real mistake that a lot of people make, even for good reasons. It's not a purity thing, right? Like if you spent and you don't want to spend any more, then don't. And I'm not just saying that as like, oh, just, have willpower, but I'm saying like try to frame it as you allowed yourself to test something. You allowed yourself to see if spending on the game felt good. And if it doesn't, don't keep doing it. Like you can allow it to be a test and still move forward and make different choices. But then also, on the flip side, kind of to what Elijah was saying, if you did spend and you liked what it got you, and you can afford to continue to spend because that is the place you are in your life, you also don't have to feel guilty for doing so. I have done so a fair bit. I haven't grown any horns or a devil tail. Yes, if you want to get all empathetic about it. I have a brand to maintain here, Elijah. But yeah, the first type annoys me too. I yeah, I definitely hear you there, John. There's a number of characters that are cool that I just don't care about adding to this game because I can't really imagine them working all that well. Like I think Prodigy is cool. I'm not particularly inspired at the idea of adding them. Yeah, Hope is a good one. People like to say Molecule Man and Franklin Richards, and it's just like, why? What? We have enough reality warpers in the game, and we barely made them work. Like, I have no interest in throwing another character in whose power is, haha, I can unmake you. Like, yeah. So I'm sorry, that's yucking somebody's yum. If you legitimately want Franklin Richards in the game because you think he's really cool and you like read runs with him and you just want him for that, that's fine. As a designer, I don't really want to tackle that problem. When I played years ago, I didn't spend, but that's because I was broke. Now I'm not, and I don't go out to bars or stuff like that, so I enjoy this hobby and I have more fun when I can buy things I want. Yeah, like that's the kind of thing, right? It's ultimately you should only be spending disposable income on things like this or like on going out to bars or ordering DoorDash or any of that other stuff, right? It should be actually disposable. You should be able to afford it. But once it is disposable, it is your choice as to how you dispose of it, and nobody else should be able to shame you about that. Although maybe don't go to casinos because that's dangerous, but you get what I mean. I get it, TC. And like while you are worried that you don't know where you are in that, I think it probably makes sense to continue to hold back, right? To try and not enable yourself. But just make sure that you are thinking about it in like terms of, is this income disposable and am I benefiting from disposing it here? More than you are like a purity thing. That's my biggest piece of advice. Yeah, and John is completely right. Like the game does give you pretty much everything just later. And a lot of y'all are patient enough. Yeah, Prodigy is also in the Young Avengers run that I enjoyed, and so that would be another reason to bring him in because he would have synergies with Patriot and Kate, and that would be another mutant that I would jump on designing for that reason. Yeah, Mystique's another one on the list, but I wasn't going to say her first. Yeah, of course, TC. I'm glad that helps. Anyway, thank y'all for hanging out. I see the numbers are starting to trickle down because we're just chatting now. But I appreciate chatting with y'all, and I'm going to go eat lunch. Thank you for hanging out, everybody, and I'll see you soon. Take care. Oh, and I've been bad about this lately, but thanks again for the super chat, Jason. All right, later, everybody.